Wine Library TV. I am your host, Gary Chuck, and this, my friends, is the Thunder Show, aka the Internet's most passionate wine program. And as you can see here, we have another guest. Mom, this is becoming the table where I sit on the right side. We're doing a little taping session, and we're doing a little bit more liquor again. We're going to focus on wine, but we are very honored. I'm very honored. It's the first time we've had the pleasure of meeting, but I have been, since I have been, we're now talking 12, 13 years, a fan, just a huge fan of this gentleman's wines. Jean-Marc Rouleau, thank you so much for being here.
You're welcome.
How are you?
Fine, thank you.
Some of the best white burgundies in my life have come from this man's estate. And also, I see we have a new little project. It's kind of a liquor-themed day. Wine guys talking about liquor. Very interesting transition. We'll let you talk about that. But for the tens of thousands of Vaniacs out there who might not know you, may not know about your wine, why don't you give them a little history about what you've done in Burgundy, the family history, what's going on, production, and then we'll get into the...
So about wine business first, it's a family estate.
Who started it?
I'm the seventh generation. But the right size of the estate, my father made it in the 50s, late 50s, early 60s. So now the estate is 11 hectares and divided in 16 appellations, and I'm producing 10 different Meursault, 6 village level Meursault, because each vineyard produces his own wine. I'm not selling just a Meursault. I always decline the name of the vineyard on the label.
Sure.
So for example, this is a Premier Cru level. I'm producing 4 Premier Cru, and this is Meursault Boucher. Boucher is the name of the vineyard.
Now the Boucher is a very famous one. I mean, it's one that, I grew up, I can't wait till even when I was 17, this is a very special, vineyard. And so you're producing 14 single vineyards or 10?
10 different Meursault. 16. We had some Bourgogne Blanc,
sure.
Bourgogne Aligoté, and a few amount of red wine. But of course, the main production in Meursault is white. And I'm separating the vineyard, and I'm producing 10 different Meursault.
There is no straight Meursault.
No, it's always the Meursault plus the name of the vineyard.
In those 10 single vineyard Meursaults, what is the overall production?
I would say 30,000 bottles.
30,000 bottles, got it. And production?
Wow, this is the smallest one.
I know. You don't even realize how excited I am to try this wine. But
so the worst vintage would be 900 bottles.
Yeah.
And the better 1,200.
900 bottles?
Bottles. I'm speaking in bottles.
I thought so.
Not in cases.
I just want everybody to understand it's 900 to 1,200 bottles of vintage. And when he said worst 900, he means by level of crop, not quality.
Yeah.
Want to make sure everybody understands that. When did you get involved in the family business?
I looked
3, 4?
No, I used to work with my father when I was a kid. I just saw him and learned like that. I began when I was 22, 23, but I really involved in the wine business 10 years later. And my very first vintage was 89. So now
89.
I'm vinifying since 20 years.
Got it. And so then came 90, which was probably a lot of fun. And
yeah.
So in between, so you got him. There was a 10-year window from when you first got involved, but you got really involved 10 years later.
Yes.
In 89.
Yes.
Was there ever an option?
Ever an option? What does that mean?
Meaning, was there ever a time when you were 13, 14, 15 years old that you thought you would do something different than the wine business?
Oh yes, of course.
Yeah.
When you're born in the wine business.
How about your father? There was never an option.
No, it was it's a tradition in Burgundy. When I have just one sister, When you're the son, you're supposed to do the job.
I understand.
But I was quite more. The motivation was really good at 32, 33, and quite better than it was when I was 20.
Because at 20 you had different motivation.
Yes, you heard about that.
Yes.
I'm not sure it's a subject, but I am an actor too. So I make theater studies. I spent 10 years in Paris and make theater, some shooting. But
That's
still,
a passion of yours.
Yes. But
do you still do any?
Yes.
That's awesome. Good for you.
It's a tiny part of my life, but I don't want to stop. I love to have 2 jobs.
Good for you.
I love it. Yes.
Me too. So that's great, and we'll get into this, and we'll review it, and we'll do it Wine Library TV style. Tell me about This, you know, obviously people can tell I've been in this setting before. I've actually taken 3 episodes in this setting. When I heard you were, you know, Big Burgundy Week in the U.S. and New York, when I heard you were here, I was like, get him over here, let's do a show. This caught me totally off guard. I was just excited because I was going to get to try some of this. This is a whole new thing. I know nothing of
it's new, of course, for America, but it's not exactly new for me, but I will tell you the story.
Well, it's definitely not new as a product, but is this a new brand? Have you been doing this a long time?
No, that's new.
Okay, that's what I meant. Okay.
But the Brandy, it's an old story of the family. We own a distillating machine.
Yep.
Since 1866.
A couple minutes ago.
Yeah. And we used to produce towards the wine range Mar de Bourgogne and Fine Bourgogne for a very long time. And we sell some Fine in America, in New York especially. And I saw this distillating process. I love it. I think it was a very good school for wine because it's a school of precision, to be focused on the thing and on the aroma, and I love the job really. And my father used to produce a small amount of fruit product.
Fruit?
Yeah, pears.
Pears.
Especially pears. But
and that's the pear.
It was tiny production. The main production was Mar de Bourgogne and Fine Bourgogne. So I have this in my mind, and we still own the machine. And I'm still producing for the domain Mar and Fine, and I wanted to redo this pear business. So I distilled those pears are from 02 vintage.
2002 pears.
Yes, and those are Pear William.
Pear William.
Coming from Haute Côte de Beaune. Fermenting
sure.
and distilled mainly is 02 and a small amount of 04. Then each age in dans des bonbons en verre. Glass.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
And I just bottled it in last December, and it's called. The name is special. It's called La Poire du Rouleau because
La Poire du Rouleau.
Du Rouleau.
Du Rouleau.
That's the name in Meursault. When my father was bringing his own pears, the guy said, "Oh, you tasted la Poire du Rouleau." That means the rouleau poire. That means it's a bit slang in French.
Sure.
La Poire du Rouleau. I want to keep the name. So this is the first brandy I'm proposing, and next one will be La Framboise du Rouleau, strawberry.
Strawberries.
So I bought strawberry from Haute Côte de Beaune.
And this is a 375 milliliter.
Yes, and so
you're making a framboise.
Pardon?
You're making a framboise of strawberries.
Yes, and I distilled strawberry last November, and it's going to be.
You're excited.
Yeah.
How many bottles of this did you create?
2,400 bottles, but it's a special bottle for American market. The French bottle is a little bit bigger, but you're not allowed to have 500 millimeters bottle. So this is a special
in the
conditioning.
U.S. U.S. You can't have 500 ml pear.
No.
Why?
Oh, I don't know.
It's stupid.
That's a no.
So you're saying there's no such thing. The biggest bottle you can make of pear brandy in the U.S. is 375.
No.
Oh,
no,
so you're saying
no.
375 or 750 milliliter.
Yes,
but you couldn't have. Got it.
Voilà.
I got it. Now I know I heard this is about a $90-$100 suggested retail product. You know, probably gonna be poured by the glass back bar. Probably more in restaurants. I'm dying to try this. Pear William brandy. When I first got involved in my dad's liquor store in the mid '90s, was in demand. We sold it. It was not good. It was the thin, the one that you see everywhere. But it sold, and through the years, it's become more under the radar. So I'm very excited to see what's going on here. Now, in France, in Burgundy, is pear brandy being drank quite a bit? Not at all? A little bit?
No,
a lot? What's going on?
It's quite...
rare?
C'est pas à la mode. It's not,
It's not in the mode?
It's unfashioned.
Right.
It's
out of fashion?
It's probably the reason I want to do it.
You want to
and
be counterculture.
All the law in France are against alcohol, and people should not drink and just drink water and stay home and go bed at 9. So I want to produce pear.
You're not a big 9 o'clock go to sleep guy.
No, not too much. No.
And
you want to try it?
Yeah, definitely. So let's crack that.
Yeah.
We should probably start with the wine.
Yes,
yeah, but why don't you crack that? Because I know that you got to crack that.
Okay.
Great packaging, good marketing. I like that. And I'm going to pour you this while you're doing that. Let's see what's going on there. Makes a little bit of a mess, which is good. get into the wine. This is 2004 Meursault Boucher. For Merlot, it's about 125 US bones these days. 04 is a very interesting vintage. 05 got so much hoopla.
Yeah.
But the more I drink the 04s, the more I like them.
Yes. Maybe the 05 reputation was higher because of Bordeaux reputation, but for white Burgundy, I think 04 is going to age in a quite good way. The average production is quite higher than 05, of course, but I like the
It's
energy.
a little more classic.
The acidity level is quite higher.
Which is what
it's
I'm
not
looking
as
for.
much concentrate as 05, but there is a kind of energy in the wine. It's so lively. I like it. I like the way it's happening in the mouth. It's very lively.
Vibrant. It is. It is.
And I guess it's probably going to age in a quite good way.
Now, 05, not only Bordeaux, but the red Burgundy, as you know.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
prices, things got crazy in Burgundy.
Yeah.
04, 05, 06, now even 07. How do you sum up that 4-year window for all the people who are trying, from somebody that's in the trenches?
You mean a classification of the vintage?
Yeah, in your opinion, everybody's got their own listen, everybody who watches this knows that it's not about experts, it's about themselves. But
Yeah.
for you, when you look at 04, 05, 06, 07, if you were going to describe them, how would you kind of talk about them?
So I like acidity. I like acidity
I do too,
vintage.
I know,
So I would mention 04 and 07. 04 is more austere. It's like this, difficult to understand, and some taster miss the vintage, but ils ont droit. They're allowed to prefer
They're just human.
05. 05 is quite more concentrate. Maybe a little bit difficult to taste right now, and it needs age too. It's slow yield, and acidity is okay, but not as high as 04.
Not even close, I felt. And most of the 05s, they don't feel like they have anywhere close to the acid as the 04.
No, it's lower level.
Yeah.
But the acidity is not bad in 05.
No, it's not, but-
Anyway, it's higher than 06, for example.
Sure.
So 06 was a
06
bit.
is
Was
interesting to me.
the harvest condition was a bit difficult.
What
but,
happened in 06? Rain?
We had rain in summer, and we had and the weather became better in September, and we had a small window where we were able to harvest in September, and it was important to harvest early enough in 06 because
lot of people got caught.
the grapes were fragile
Yeah.
and changed suddenly. And 06, if there was harvested a bit late, it's sometimes an heavy vintage with low level acidity
Gloppy.
and the big aroma. So those are good wine, but not ready to be aged for 10 years.
Sure.
It's okay for the next 3 to 5 years.
Sure. And 07?
Oh, I love it.
Really?
Yes, it's 04 register, but not so austere, more available.
A little more
Yes.
flamboyant.
Wait.
Yeah.
I like it. I like 07. We are right now bottling them, and
And 07 reminds you of what vintage in your history? Does it remind you of anything?
no, I told you it's remind me 04 in a easier style.
Yeah.
Voilà.
Got it. Great. All right, let's get into this wine. Let's give it a little sniffy sniff. Jean-Marc, you gotta give it a good sniffy sniff. So
What is sniffy sniff?
smell it.
Okay.
Because I think that way
I
too.
can.
We have great noses on this show. I feel that way too many people
Yeah?
in the world overlook bouquet.
Ah, oui.
People they get right into it.
I know a good taster, a very good one is never tasting the wine, just smelling it. Voilà. And I always listen his advice.
So
Wait.
one of the people that you respect the most
Yes,
is
he's
based on
a guy
smell.
who will sell my wine in Paris.
And it's all based on the smell for him.
Well,
Quite a bit.
80% of the comments come from the noise.
Very interesting. Let's give it a whirl. Now, what do you think about the thing, before we get into this, one more last thing? I feel that Burgundy lately, I've been concerned a little bit. I'm very scared of the oak monster.
Oh.
Oak scares me.
Yeah.
And I feel like in 05, I felt like there was definitely a shift. It got a little bit oakier for me than I'd like to see. And I've seen it continue a little bit with the 06s that I've been tasting. What is your take on oak in general and oak in the last couple of years in Burgundy? Do you feel like, we're not going to talk bad, or you might love oak. I don't know. What is your take on it?
I think generally people have feet on the brakes with wood management. It's less than 10 years ago. But sometimes, especially with small yield
Producers.
Small yield vintage.
Yes, okay. Small year.
You use new oak, then you have available 1 year old barrel, 2 years old barrel, and sometimes you're not using older barrel.
I see. So you're saying
So
when the yields are
what
small.
you mentioned about 05, it could be one of the reasons.
I see. So what you're saying is a lot of wineries have 1 year old, 2, 3, and then they probably sell it after 3 or
Yeah,
4.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
the range. They have new French oak, and then they have a 1, 2, or 3, maybe sometimes 4-year program on the premium level. And you're saying in smaller yields, you're filling up from new
you just-
first,
you-
and so you
yeah.
might not be getting to third and fourth.
You're just using maybe 1, 2, 3, and not 4, 5, 6, maybe 7 years old. I'm using 7 years old barrel, of course.
And so when you blend it all together, you know,
Right.
that 4, 5, 6, 7
But
is bringing some
we're
balance.
always speaking about the percentage of new oak.
I hate that.
But never speaking about if I use 20% of new oak, we're never speaking about the 80% of what are those 80? If it's 80% of 1 year old barrel, it's huge. It's huge.
Such a great point. 20%, when you hear 50% new oak, but then the other 50% is 1 year old, that's huge compared to 50% new oak and 50% 8-year.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a totally different
Very,
game. That's a
completely.
great point.
Right.
I mean, when people come in and have pride around this is 80% new oak, I laugh. I don't understand. I mean, I don't think it's necessarily bad. I just laugh. So, all right, let's give this a whirl.
So to me, the wood is one of the parameters. We need it. We need to ferment in wood.
Yep.
We need the micro-oxygenation of the wood.
Yep.
But it's just a parameter of the wine, like alcohol is, like acidity is. And if you increase wood, you could maybe still produce good wine. But the first thing which disappears is the terroir.
The truth.
Huh? Even too much alcohol, too much acidity. Terroir is a very fragile notion. And if
And
you
oak and
increase
high.
one of the parameters, the first thing you will lose is terroir.
And that subtlety is really what makes this what this is all about.
And you know, producing 10 different Meursault, I want
challenge.
to express the
Yeah,
terroir
sure.
if possible.
That's why you do it. Otherwise, you'd make a Meursault.
I try.
So aromatically, a little tight on the nose. I mean, it could be the glassware. Not a whole crazy amount coming through, but you could definitely get a little bit of sense of minerality. I get a little bit of, I like that kind of rock. Coming through on the nose. And a little bit of a light kind of, I get a little bit of a light pear actually, ironically, on
Really?
the nose.
That's
a little
adorable.
bit. What are you picking up?
Connection with the two products.
Yeah, I like that. Maybe you can blend them together. You picking up anything else on the nose?
It's always the vineyard I'm harvesting first because the slope is deep and alcohol increase a lot and acidity decrease quickly too. So maybe the aroma is more, open than
More
another-
approachable.
Yes, more approachable.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it shows in a good way right now.
Great acid. I mean, just great acid. I'll tell you what the first thing that comes to my mind. The mid palate
Yeah.
of this wine is spectacular. And to me, that's always been a signature of a lot of the wines that you've made from afar, not knowing you. I've always been a big fan of that. I've always felt that the initial attack and the finish are great, but the way this wine transitions in the palate
Right.
from the beginning to the end,
I
think
understand
is
what you mean. Wait.
is very, very seamless.
It's important for me the regularity of the tasting. Sometimes you have
Absolutely. Boom and boom.
Yeah, right. And sometimes in between
Yeah.
it's like this, or you
Absolutely.
have a very big mouth, beginning of the mouth,
That's
and
right.
it's
That's right. And I think a lot of people cheat in the fact that for most wine drinkers, you get them in the beginning and you finish them good,
Yes.
and it feels good. And I feel like, gosh, there's a lot of stuff going on in the
Right.
middle.
And I like the fact I'm trying to have this. I'm not successful every time, but I like the fact that when you smell the wine, you imagine something, and I like you get this thing
When you taste it.
Yes,
Yeah.
there is a correspondence between noise and mouth.
No question. To me, this almost feels like I just ate a fruit salad that had rocks in it.
Yeah.
So like some pears and some apples, but some rock. I get that quite a bit on this wine. This also has very refined elegance and very subtle oak, wood. It's there. And you taste it more, I don't taste it right initially. It starts coming in, like in the second quarter, you know, after the intermission. You know, it starts coming in a little bit stronger. But the length of this wine, I mean, this is see, to me, when I scream about white wine being underrated, this is what I talk about. There is no serious red wine drinker that would ever taste this wine and not find it fascinating, complicated, and true. And I'm just baffled that people misunderstand the fact that white wine is on a world-class level.
And I like the way, je comprends. To me, it's you have the wine. You have to go towards the wine, and the wine should not just
come to you.
Yeah.
You have to work for it a little bit. It's like a girl.
Like cooking, oui, c'est pareil. Oui, c'est pareil, c'est pareil.
Yeah.
Il faut chercher un peu. Hein?
Yeah.
You need attention.
Absolutely.
And to work a little bit.
And
Work a little bit
this,
when you taste.
And this one's making you work a little bit, for
Bon,
sure. And maybe even more than a little bit. I mean, to me, this complexity is what gets so many people excited about red wine in general. And I'm baffled by the lack of enthusiasm and education about white wine. I mean, are you battling that a lot, or no?
I understand what you mean, but I think it's changing.
I think it's changing too.
Yes.
And I think the most interesting thing is how many people realize how important Riesling has become. Riesling's been a very good help for Chardonnay, in my opinion.
Yes, probably, yes.
Yes, because people have started over the last 3 to 5 years understanding how serious.
You know, the story of Chardonnay in the mind of so many people. There is a classic image of the Chardonnay. I just want to.
Yeah, no, I know. So this is an amazing white wine. We're gonna get to the Pear William now, but I have to score it. I'm gonna score this my 95 plus points. I think this is incredible. To me, this is textbook classic 04 Burgundy because you get that high acid, but the completion from the mid palate to the finish is the signature of this wine. And this is a wine. I mean, we could be looking at 13, 16, 20 years in the cellar on this wine. What do you think?
How many you say?
I think it can. I mean, I think it's got the backbone to go 10 to 20 years.
Oh yes, wait.
You feel longer?
No.
Okay.
10 to 20 with 04 vintage. I believe it.
Because the acid is there.
Wait.
Let's move on. All right, we're getting some special glasses here. Thank you, Mr. Ford. Chilled. So why chilled glass? For everybody out there.
Because the brandy should be at cool temperature. It's the aroma prepared in a different way.
So 2,400 bottles made of this, right? You said?
2,400, right.
Okay.
Oh.
Now, did you like Pear Brandy when your dad made it?
Oh, yes.
Is that kind of why you're doing it?
It's a family souvenir.
Understood. See, Mott, you've got to smell this. I mean, this is incredibly aromatic. I mean, this is what you love about, Pear Brandy. I mean,
with brandy, you need to be in the subject. Hein? Pear, comme ça.
Isn't that good?
It smells delicious.
Isn't it? It's great. I mean, if you like pears, you're going to love this. I mean, and what's amazing to me on this is it's pears, and then you get a little alcohol in the finish, but this is pears for days. Oh, wow. This
Ça va?
is incredible. Wow. To me, the journey of beverages, trying different things. All of you know how much I love root beer, for example, real root beer. Something like this expands the palate. I'm a huge pear eater. Are you a big pear eater or no?
Oui, I like it, yeah.
I'm a big fan of pear, so of course I'm going to like this. I mean, at the end of the day, if you despise pear, you're probably not going to like this. I mean, this really gives you the essence. But the length of this, right? I mean, I feel like legitimately, you're talking about a minute or two.
And the aftertaste, is the fruit.
Absolutely.
The fruit.
I mean, just all you taste is pears, right, Mott? I see you shaking your head, right? I mean, it's just pears. Very good, huh? Are you excited about the way this came out? Were you nervous a little bit? Had you made Pear Brandy kind of fooling around before this?
It's a new story for me. So
that's what I mean.
I'm not nervous, but
it's a challenge.
Yes, it's a challenge, and I'm pleased to show this product in the States, in the United States.
Do you feel like there's a pent-up demand? Do you think there's an untapped market for this in the U.S.
Untapped, what does that mean?
It's there, but nobody realizes it. And once they start tasting it, there will be more demand for the product.
Yes, but we have to
Tell the
make
story.
it, to tell the story, make it, and tell the
Relevant.
story in relation with the demand, because people know the wine, but it could look strange for me to show a Pear brandy.
Are you
but
worried
there is
about that?
There is no, because it's my story. I know I'm honest with that.
Be you.
I'm not picking something weird.
Just because you see there's money there.
Yeah. No, it's Burgundy and pears. It's local product, and there is a family tradition around that. It's not far away from Rouleau family and estate history.
It's truth.
Voilà. I hope.
It's the terroir of your family.
Yeah.
At some level, on a global level. I mean, I think it's fantastic. As you saw, I just sipped some more of the white wine. I think that you have such great brand equity in the U.S. for your white wines from serious collectors. And for me, I'm excited because there's a lot of people, I think, watching this who are not aware of you. They can see how great you are. But this guy's wines, guys, are amazing. I mean, the Bourgogne entry level. Tell me a little bit. We're getting close on time, right, Mott? But just one quick second. The Bourgogne entry level. I mean, to me, that's always been one of my favorite value-driven wines. I think you kill it.
It's a very important cuvée for me because it's to me it's my visit card of the domain because it's a bottle which is
circulated a lot.
Yes, it's a biggest
for
production.
most people. That's what they know.
Yeah, and it's a very well located parcel, always located near Meursault area. Mm-hmm. And to me, this wine should introduce the range of Meursault. So the fact it's a just simple Bourgogne. I should choose to add more new oak or more batonnage to add some flesh to like would be like a makeup. But I want to produce it like the other range, clean, as is Burgundy level, in the same way as the Meursault, and it's a very important cuvée for me.
You take a lot of pride in it.
And anyway, a lot of attention.
Yeah.
As much as on the Perrier.
Yeah.
Voilà.
Tremendous. Now, you get to ask the people who are watching a question. The question of the day. What would you like the tens of thousands of people in there to answer in the comments? Any question about anything to do with wine, with pears, with life, fire away, Jean-Marc.
What should be your real classical image of a Chardonnay could be? Not a Chardonnay, a white Burgundy.
Very good. Thank you for being here.
My pleasure. My pleasure.
Fascinating.
Thank you.
Thank you for the wine.
Thank you.
You, with a little bit of me, we're changing the pear world, aren't we?